Hi everyone, welcome back. So, now that I have a couple of guitars under my belt, I want to start looking into more of the classical style of guitars. I've learned a lot about the differences between a steel string guitar and a classical style guitar, and I'm really curious about what I can do with those differences, and I'm also really curious about how those differences will affect the end result of one of my guitars. Because I have a finished product on the steel string, I've never done a finished product on the classical, and so I was thinking, if I do it, I would know, and it would be fun. And so, let's take a look at some of the material I've decided to make this classical guitar out of.
Beautiful set of mahogany. Gorgeous. This top, which is a top, it's my favorite top I've ever joined together. I just love the grain in this. It's so nice. And then this back. It's a little bit off right now, but I think you get the... And then in here we have some mahogany necks. All of these necks will work. And so once we finish the body, I will break these necks out and we'll figure out which one looks the best. Here we have rosewood. Obviously it's going to be a rosewood bridge and a rosewood fretboard. But I personally would like to get the body done first and then we can work on the neck. Just kind of how I like to build my guitars. Which is funny because I have an electric over there I'm working on and I built the neck for that one first. I want to build a really nice rosette for this guitar, a little bit different from what I'm doing on my steel string guitars. And so I'm going to think about that for a couple of days before I commit to a design, before I even try to make a design, because I know that the rosettes for a classical guitar are very intricate, and I'm not that skilled. So, let's start with the sides. Let's bend the sides. I'm scared to send these through the planer, because that thing likes to chip things, and so I'm wondering if I can just do this by hand using a plane. Okay, it seems like the answer is yes, I can plane these by hand. I was taking off some shavings, man. So I'm gonna hit it with the power sander and just smooth it up a little bit. This is gonna be such a pretty guitar. Oh my goodness. Sound check. Oh yeah. It may look like I cleaned up. I did not. It's all an illusion. Okay, I want so desperately to bend these sides by hand. Because it's more intimate, you know? And I feel like a classical guitar, like you gotta be in there with it. It's not going great, but it is going. Ow. God damn. Bending sides by hand turned out to be pretty difficult, so don't tell anyone, but I'm gonna use my jig. I'm so confident I can do this. It just takes some practice.
The walls are bent. I'm not super stoked about how they turned out. We continue. It's practice at least, and so we're just gonna move on. And I guess we should talk about why the walls didn't turn out as good as I can. I think it's really just because my lack of experience, because I'm not entirely sure why the wood creases. Like on this piece, you can see right here that the wood has creased, it's crinkled, and it did it on my last guitar too, and trying to sand through it doesn't work because it's creased internally as well. That line is there, you will see it when the guitar is done. I'm not super stoked about it, obviously, but I don't know what to do about it. And so I'm going to finish the guitar because it's practice. This one turned out a little bit better, but there's still like some wrinkles and what not in it. I don't know. But I think it was a mix of not being patient enough, forcing the wood too much, and not letting it stay, and like having it dry out or get too hot, I think caused it. But yeah, anyways, that's just food for thought. I gotta research more. I gotta look up more about what to do, and then practice. Just practice. Maybe I'll get some scrap pieces of wood, make a bunch of like walls out of like poplar or something cheap, and then just bend like 10 of them. That might actually be a really good idea. Anyways, let's move on. We've got to trim the excess. I tried to put it in the body mold and I just fucking cracked it. There's a crack right here now. Can you see that? Fuck. I'm gonna glue it back together, and then this guitar is now getting ribs down the side because my god, I barely even touched it and it just shattered. Fuck. Gotta squeeze out on the back, right here. Very good. This is what we've ended up with. Yeah, little rim. So, it has a little bit of an issue. It's not super well oriented, like it's not quite symmetrical or mirrored or whatever it is. It's not quite perfect yet. I think at this point, we are left with a couple decisions that we're going to have to make in the next video. Those decisions, get in there. So there we go. Okay, so decisions. The first decision that we're going to have to make is, do we want to continue with these walls because of how many flaws they have? They have a little bit of splintering, a little bit of cracks. They have some knots that didn't quite bend well. They're not super great, and it was my first time ever bending them by hand on a heating iron like that. And so I have 7 more mahogany size that just came in the mail. We could just restart. We could. I would do it all off camera. I would just remake it real fast. I'd update you guys on anything that I've learned or anything that went differently, and then we can move from there. Or I can try to do whatever I can to keep these sides for this guitar, and it would teach me a lot probably about how to manage stuff like this in a shop when I have a client who wants a specific set of sides and I end up cracking them a little bit, or if they don't bend super well, like what can I do to fix it? So the decision here that we have to make is, do I continue with these walls and try to learn as much as I can from them before I just throw them away and end up with a lesser looking guitar or a lesser quality guitar, or do I just restart and use these walls for like binding or kerfing? Like it doesn't have to be a waste, you know, like I can use it for something. But I don't know, the other decision we have to make is, the walls right now are kind of like skewed a little bit. Some things we could do, you know, like we could put a brace here and here, like hold the wall together. You know, we could brace the walls, something like that with a lot thinner of a brace, and that would just keep the walls
a little bit more structurally sound. It stiffened the sides up, which in theory I think made the guitar actually sound better. Something to think about, something to look at online and see what other people have done. Also, we can look at like how deep, because I was gonna go with 5 inches deep on the lower bout, like the deepest at 5 inches. But after looking into it, it seems like a lot of classical guitars are around 3 1/4 to 4 inches deep at the max. So maybe we can actually just cut off some of the material and we end up not hitting the knot as much, you know? I don't know. I want to restart. I want to make it with better walls, but I also want to try to get as much out of this as possible. I don't know. But that's all for the next video, the next episode. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next Friday. If you're interested in seeing how this build progresses and are interested in supporting me and whatnot, leave a like, leave a subscribe, and that's all. I will see you guys next Friday. Thank you, and goodbye.